game time.
Hey everybody, Complimentarian here, and I have a video for you. I know it's been forever. Come on. Seriously? I know. If you guys want to know why I haven't put out a video in so long, put a comment below. I'll answer that question. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's been happening in my life lately. I want to talk to you guys about a word called hope. And this word hope is uniquely derivative from the Judeo-Christian worldview. Okay, there's no other worldview that presents an idea like hope, and not hope in the modern sense that I'm wishing for something in the future to happen without any kind of evidence or basis to believe that it will. Okay, it's more along the lines of I hope for something because of past evidence. I know something to be true because of what has happened before, because of a track record, and so therefore there is this hope alive and working within me. And the hope that I'm talking about today is that God, Jesus, is the great physician and can heal all kinds and all maladies. And the malady that I'm speaking about today is one that I've struggled with since I was in my teen years. And it's one of obsessive compulsive disorder. I know it's more along the lines of a punchline than anything else in today's society about how OCD is, it's ha 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 ha. But it was so bad in my teen years that I lost dates over it. That girls who were going out with me would stop. Dates would end abruptly. A girl would be like, I have to go wash my hair. Because of how awkward some situations got. And so I was in a conversation last week online with the group that I usually play with, and there was one other person that I didn't know at all, and she's a registered nurse. Well, she's also studying to be a nurse practitioner in the field of psychology, so she has a little bit of training or understanding, some topical knowledge underneath her belt, where she's actually been through some clinicals. She says, and I was telling her, the situations in this deal, and she said, oh, it's a control issue. And I had never really been hit with that so bluntly before. I mean, subconsciously I knew that, and even sometimes consciously I would admit it. But somebody else never really just hit me with it like that. And so she said, oh, it's a control issue. We talked about some of the parameters that surrounded that, some of the situations I was placed in while I was growing up, and and then how the OCD developed because of those sort of things. We talked through those sort of things. But basically she says, yeah, it's also an anxiety issue. We talked about what happened during those situations where the compulsion, manifests itself. And she said, oh, it's also an anxiety issue. And me, as a believer, went straight to the fact that I said, that's sin. And far too often, I think we know this in today's society, where we mask sin with sickness. There's an old quote that says, at 3, I had a feeling of ambivalence toward my brothers, so it likely followed that I murdered all my lovers. The lesson here that is taught is everything else that I do that's wrong is someone else's fault. Now, a funny little saying, a little quote to say that, yeah, a lot of times when we can just look back over the last 40, 50 years and look at court case after court case of where people blame sin for sickness. This person isn't morally wrong, they're sick. They have a disease, sort of thing. So you have a comment about that, please put it below. I love the dialogue with you. But so I said, that's sin. And then I'm reminded by Paul in Philippians where he tells us, do not be anxious for anything. But in every situation, through prayer and petition, some of them say supplication. Let me just pull it up here real quick. With thanksgiving, present your request to God. Present your request to God. Don't be anxious. Let God handle the situation. So when this young lady online and I are talking, she'd point out that sometimes they do exposure therapy with people who have anxiety issues. You're afraid of snakes, they make you hold a snake, sort of deal. And so I said, oh, that's really interesting. Maybe I should try that. But in my own personal studies that I'm doing right now, I'm going through doubt, religious doubt, and 3 different types of it. As for another one, if you're going through doubt right now of your beliefs, especially if you're a Christian, put a comment below or hit me up in a personal message. I want to dialogue with you. I want to talk to you about your doubt and how to address it, sort of deal. If enough of you guys put comments below about that thing, I'll make a video about religious doubt and we'll talk about it. But I was going through my own personal study, not my personal struggle, personal study of doubt, and one of the things they were talking about is cognitive therapy. So now I have exposure therapy and I have cognitive therapy. Cognitive therapy deals with identifying lies you've told yourself, removing them, and then replacing them with truth, reason, or logic, those sort of deals. For the purposes of my worldview, I'm going to call it truth. Replacing a lie with truth. If I was lying to myself that I needed to have control over the situation and replace it with truth, the creator of the entire universe who loves me enough to send his son to die on the cross for all of my sin, that he could handle any and every situation. And so I did try a little bit of exposure therapy and cognitive therapy. Went to the gas station, which is one of my compulsive situations. I have to put in an exact number, not gallons, but dollars into my tank. And most of the time it's one of 3 numbers, 12, 15, or 25. I have to land on one of those 3 numbers exactly, or my compulsion flares. Okay. So I went to the gas station and I put in 1601. And my gut reaction was compulsion and chemical imbalance, which leads to hives, itchiness, those sort of things. But I immediately identified the lie. I removed it out of my mind, so that's not true, and then replaced it with the truth, saying I have more gas in my tank. I've got more gas. That's a good thing. And that it's not on exactly 16, it's 1 more cent over, just 1. And then have to go back to, the situations that cost me to have OCD and say, it's 1 more cent. That's not going to break the bank. I'm perfectly fine. God is more than big enough to handle any and every struggle I might come across. Replaced it with the truth. Drove off in my car filled with peace, filled with hope that one day this disease, this sin, will be completely dealt with on the way there. Guys, if you're struggling with sin in your life, I want to encourage you to don't be anxious about it. If you're struggling with things within your job, within your home life, within your personal life, that you're being anxious for, first of all, I want to tell you, you're sinning. I'm not condemning you, but as a brother in Christ, I'm calling you out, okay? But at the same time, I want you to understand there's hope. God is big enough for you, more than big enough to handle any and every situation, but we have to, with thanksgiving, be thankful for the things we do have, present our requests to God. Guys, that's all I got. You got any questions, any comments, likes, dislikes, put them below. I love you guys. That's all I got. Hasta luego. Mis amigos.